Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are South.
No place better than the bank vault for Atlanta to put an end to its three-game slide. Alex Wood takes the mound opposite our old pal Aaron Harang. It's the first meeting of the season in Philadelphia. It's the Braves and it's the Phillies. Game one next. Philadelphia is the final stop on our three-city road trip for the Atlanta Braves, and hopefully the woeful Phillies will be just what the doctor ordered for the Braves. They were swept by the Mets, but hopefully they can get healthy against the last-place Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip with you. Welcome to Braves Baseball. Things didn't go so well for Atlanta in New York. The Mets are red hot. They've won 11 straight ball games. Can't say that about the Phillies, but no matter the record, if you don't pitch better, you're going to have trouble winning. Hopefully Alex Wood has his A game tonight.
And it starts with the starting pitching for the Atlanta Braves. They're not getting too deep in ball games, and as a result, it's costing the bullpen. It cost a couple of guys a job trip back to Gwinnett because the Braves needed some fresh arms. This year, fewest innings pitched by starters, Atlanta just 2 outs better than the Baltimore Orioles, who are sub-5 innings. If the Braves can get a little deeper in the games, they can save their pitching, and the Braves had to make some changes in their bullpen today.
A couple of young right-handers join Roger McDowell's bullpen.
Yeah, it's going to be John Corneli and Michael Kahn who get the call up. They're going to be asked to fill in some gaps and try to pick up some of the slack because those guys didn't pitch poorly. Brandon Kniff actually pitched really well, I thought. And Sugar Ray Marimone, they didn't pitch poorly. They just had to pitch a lot. And the Braves needed some fresh arms. They got 2 today.
Alex Wood gets the ball for the Braves. Our old friend Aaron Harang makes his debut against Atlanta. It's the Braves and Phillies. Game one from Citizens Bank Park is coming up next. Philadelphia Phillies. The Braves Enter play today at 8-7. The Phillies 5-11 so far in the National League East. Atlanta hoping for better tidings against these division rivals after a rough start against the New York Mets. The Braves starting night presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Eric Young Jr.'s had good luck against Aaron Harang. He'll lead off in left field. Alberto Callaspo will bat and play second. Nick Markakis having a great road trip and a great April. He'll hit third and right. Freddie Freeman, always a pleasure to watch Freddie hit in this park. He'll be the cleanup man. A.J. Brzezinski's hitting, so he's playing. He's the catcher again tonight with Chris Johnson, Andrelton Simmons, Cameron Maben eighth, and Alex Wood ninth against an old pal who pitched great for the Braves last year.
He really did. Aaron Harang did a great job for the Braves last year. Went 12-12 with a 3.57 ERA. His last 7 starts, all quality starts dating back to last year. He has a 1.76 ERA over that stretch, 3 of them with the Phillies. Only 11 walks, 44 strikeouts over that stretch. 36 years old, 6'7", 260, a full 25 pounds lighter than the starting pitcher for the Mets yesterday. Aaron's out of San Diego. He's in his 13th year in the big leagues. And as I said, pitched really well for the Braves last year, don't you think, Chip? And especially in April. He's had a real good run for both clubs the last 2 Aprils.
Yeah, he's part of 2 shutout performances for the Braves in April last year, you might recall. And with the Braves, 204 innings pitched, 25 quality starts. That was the second most on the team. And really a good guy, too. That's the thing that's so much fun about Aaron Harang. Knows how to pitch, and he was great in the clubhouse, mentoring some of the young Braves pitchers in 2014.
Signed a 1-year deal with the Phillies for, I think it was $5 million. He's been a good influence on some of their pitchers, and everyone will tell you he's been their best pitcher to date with his first 3 starts. His last one against Washington, he beat them 5-3, went 6 innings, gave up only 3 runs, walked 2, struck out 6. So time to get back in the win column, isn't it?
You bet. He's 2-4 on the trip, 8-7 for the year. And Eric Young Jr. will lead things off. Little late start. Terry Pendleton, last man out of the dugout. Man, his spot down the first base line is the Braves' first base coach. And we're underway. That's upstairs. .55 degrees with a brisk wind blowing from left to right. That's up and away for Young. 2 balls, no strikes.
Really chilly down on the field.
There it misses with 3 straight. 3 balls, no strikes for EY, hitting a .190 on the year. And that one found the mark. Brian Gorman's got the plate, by the way. Long-time Major League umpire. And 3-2. Young was ready to flip the bat away.
I don't blame him. Looked like that was off the plate. Aaron mostly sinker slider guy with a cutter and a changeup. Going to the same spot.
I think that was a big question mark that many had about Aaron Harang, and we'll see once it gets hot in Philadelphia, how will he fare in this small ballpark, small pitcher's park. He did some of his best work in Atlanta, Citi Field, Nationals Park. Little tapper, Harang's got that, and a quick flip to first takes care of Eric Young. He rallied from a 3-0 count. 1 up, 1 down for Alberto Callaspo. A look at the Phillies defense, and it's been offensive. The Phillies have made 17 errors and 5 in their last 2 games. Looking for better tidings with Revere and Jeff Francoeur in the outfield corners. Odubel Herrera is their rookie center fielder. Nashi and Howard on the infield. Utley and Galvis up the middle at second and short, respectively. And Carlos Ruiz, the catcher. Defense presented by CPI Security.
Yeah, they're tied for the most errors in baseball with the Washington Nationals.
And a strike to Alberto. 1-1. It's been tough to come by for Callaspo and for Jace Peterson. That duo has combined 3 for their last 31. It's served into shallow left. And Ben Revere will gather that in. He's got it. And there's out number 2. Hits have not been tough to come by for Nick Markakis. 6th best batting average in the National League at .373.
And Nick's using the whole field just like you expect him to do. And against lefties and righties.
Letter high strike has Markakis behind. No homers, 5 RBIs. 14 hits in his last 8 games.
As expected, Aaron working quickly.
One and 2.
And that's where he'll sit, about 86 to 89 with movement.
Came off the bad handle from Markakis, but he spoiled the pitch. Now 2-2. As you said, Aaron's a great big guy. First glance, you think he's going to throw the ball 94, 95 miles an hour. Doesn't have to be effective. See what he does with the 2-2. High, popped the glove at 90.
As we learned last year, he was a guy who, when he signed with the Rangers out of San Diego State, did throw hard. Age and a few injuries took its toll on that velocity.
And the seats foul. We'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
He had the smallest crowd in Citizens Bank Park history here yesterday. Just over 17,000 folks. It's pretty sparse tonight.
Line to center. Herrera goes back. He took an odd route, but he got there. Ball might have been knuckling, but he made a good catch, and Harang has a perfect 1-2-3 first. First, here come the Phillies at 5-11 on the year. The Phillies have scored the fewest runs, have the lowest batting average in all of Major League Baseball, and they've been outscored by 33 runs in their first 16 games. Carlos Ruiz always hits Alex Wood hard. Let's hope that doesn't continue tonight. Let's hope, too, Joe, that Alex can take the ball deep against this very, very slow-started Philadelphia offense.
His 4th start of the year. His numbers against the Phillies last year, outstanding. 2 starts, 1-1. 1.29 is what that should say, ERA, and just 1 walk against 15 strikeouts in 14 innings pitched.
This is Ben Revere to lead off, and a quick strike to the Phillies left fielder. Ben has started slowly at the plate. He usually does. He's a lifetime .234 hitter in April. He's at 189 at the start of tonight's play. And Wood struck him out on 3 pitches.
It didn't take long. Time for the 4 keys to pitching success for Alex Wood tonight. Number 1, friendly confines. He's pitched well here in this ballpark. 1-1 in his career, 2-1 lifetime against the Phillies, so he's comfortable pitching here. But more importantly, as Chip just said, go 7 tonight or more. Pitch deeper in the ballgame. He's the only guy that's pitched into the 7th inning among the starters, including his last start against Toronto when he went 6 2/3.
This is Odubel Herrera. He had not played a game above AA until he got the call to the big leagues for the Phillies. That's what he's hitting now. He's a converted second baseman out of Venezuela. They really love his athleticism in center field for the Phillies. He's a little low.
He was a Rule 5 draft out of the Rangers organization. It's not too often that a guy wins a batting title in the minor leagues and is left unprotected, but that was the case for Herrera, and the Phillies got him. He led the Texas League in hitting last year, went to Venezuela this winter, led the Venezuelan League in hitting, so he's got something working.
Boy, the Phillies need a player like this to click for them, don't they?
They do.
They do not have many young players ready to come to the big leagues. Most of the Phillies' best prospects are at AA, not AAA. Herrera with a unique stance rips one right back where it came from. Lefty versus lefty. That one skipped back through the box and right over the second base bag. So he's been an early season bright spot for the Phillies. Herrera aboard with a 1-out hit.
Lays that stance wide open, brings everything back to a more conventional looking stance with that leg kick. A lot of moving parts, but it works for him, at least here in the early going.
Every time we play the Phillies, you have to worry about Chase Utley. I don't care what he's hitting. I don't care what his on-base percentage is. I don't care how many strikeouts he's got. He always seems to wear out the Braves. And that one skipped away from Freddie Freeman. Wood trying to pick off Herrera, and he's going to turn around second. Stop there. And had he been paying attention, he might have been able to take third.
No, he got held up by Pete Buchanan. He was watching McCannon, and Pete threw up the stop sign. Got under the glove and under the runner. And there, see, he was checking McCannon before he got to second base, just as if he had hit one in the corner.
Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. I thought he had his head down when he got to the bag. But on the throwing error, he takes second. Now Utley with a chance to put the Phillies in front. There, Chase's career numbers against the Braves. A rough start for the veteran Phillies second baseman at the plate. That's inside ball 2.
Pretty good numbers against Wood in his career, 4 for 12. But last year, probably the first year in his career where he did not hit a homer against the Braves and only drove in 3 runs.
That is just foul past first. And now a 2-ball 1-strike count to Chase Utley.
It's hard to believe that Chase Utley's 6 for 50. He has 2 homers, but no doubles or triples.
He had an 0 for 20, 0 for 22 stretch, something like that earlier this year for the Phillies. And only 1 for 15 against lefties. And another throwing error by Wood, but Herrera can't move up.
Good hustle there by Maben to come in and back that up, and a good play by Andrelton to kind of hold him down. Pretend that he's got the glove on him with the ball in it. Boy, Alex, lucky on that one.
Two balls, one strike. Chase Utley, the hitter. And Brzezinski speared that. Now it's 3-1. Saw a note earlier today that the defensive runs saved tabulations are out. Anderson Simmons has saved 8 runs already this year. That's most in the big leagues. Saved a base with that fake tag of Herrera at second base. And a strike fills the count. Jeff Francoeur, the Phillies cleanup man. He's on deck. And Utley walks. First and second, one out. And Francoeur is coming up. Here's a look at the Braves defense. Young, Maben, and Markakis left to right in the outfield. Freeman, Callaspo at second. Simmons at short. Chris Johnson at third. And A.J. Brzezinski to Iron Man and harness behind the plate. Jeff with a couple of homers, 4 knocked in, hitting .225 with the Phillies. And he takes a strike.
It gives Ryan Sandberg an option in the cleanup spot with a lefty pitching, other than using Ryan Howard there, where he's been ensconced for a long, long time.
Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talked to Jeff before the game today. He's really enjoying his time here in Philly. He's got a chance to play a lot, and he's really enjoying working with Charlie Manuel, the former Phillies manager. And hoping for better tidings in 2015. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It seems to me the last couple of years when Jeff has been kind of up and down in the big leagues, his stance was very wide. He had a wide base, but it's like he shortened that up. Looks a little more comfortable at the plate than he has.
Bouncing ball toward third. Tricky hop. Throw to second, 1. That's all the Braves will get. Hard slide by Chase Utley. Herrera's at third. Francoeur's at first with 2 out. And that'll bring up Ryan Howard.
That was another good play by Chris Johnson on one of those in-between hops. He hesitated, but then realized he had to try and smother that short hop. And got it. Nice play by Callaspo, too, to come off the bag and get that out. It was a good stretch by him.
Braves lead Major League Baseball in fielding percentage. They've turned the most double plays in the big leagues this year. And now it's a lefty-lefty matchup between Alex Wood and Braves killer Ryan Howard. And a strike. 1 homer, 4 RBIs, and a 196 average for Ryan Howard. 17 strikeouts in his first 46 at bats. High fly ball. Did he keep it fair? It's down the right field line. It is foul.
I can't believe that. Every fly ball he's ever hit against the Atlanta Braves has gone out of the ballpark.
Wind might have pushed that one foul past the pole. Howard's hit 47 career homers against the Braves, and that one nearly number 48. First and third for Howard, and way high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
17 strikeouts and 46 at bats for him. But last year he remained a Braves killer with 4 homers, 13 RBIs in 18 games.
Rolled toward first. Freeman's got it. And Alex Wood is out of the first inning. A hit, a walk, 2 left. Second inning rolls around in Philly. No score.
Braves today, a couple of new pitchers brought up, John Cornley and Michael Kahn, and for Cornley, his first call-up.
It was a good night and a long one. Didn't sleep much. Just excited and hopped on a flight. Luckily, I had Michael with me to show me the ropes a little bit, so that was nice. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have gotten in the stadium. She told him to drop me off here somewhere.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Kahn helped Cornley get on in here, guys. Those two both from South Carolina, one College of Charleston, one from Wofford. See if they get in the game tonight.
Always a thrill when you get your first chance to walk into a big league ballpark as a big league ball player.
And in a bullpen, visiting bullpen, where if you get up and warm up, you get broken in right away by harassing fans.
Yeah, you may be a rookie. They know everything about you, even your blood type out there. As Freddie Freeman works against a Phillies shift and is down swinging. Strikeouts are piling up for Freddie. You said in New York that happens to him from time to time.
He just goes through these strikeout fits. I don't know what happens because he was swinging the bat so well in Toronto and then goes 1 for 11 with 5 strikeouts in New York.
Four up, 4 down for Aaron Harang. That'll bring up A.J. Brzezinski. He's hitting .407. And I'm guessing, Joe, right now, if you hit, you play.
Yeah, he's got a hot hand. He's an Iron Man right now, playing day games after night games and the next day.
Christian Bethancourt in an 0 for 14 slide at the plate. Bounce ball right side. Howard with some range. The flip to Harang. And that's out number 2. Five up, 5 down for Harang. Chris Johnson bats. Braves last year went 11-8 against the Phillies. Third straight winning season against the Philadelphia Ball Club for the Braves. They did some of their best work here. They won 8 out of 10 games at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, I read somewhere that you'd have to go back to the Boston Braves in a season back in the early 1900s to find a year where the Braves won more games at the Phillies' home park.
High fly ball hit toward left, but the wind's going to knock that one down. And Revere's got it in front of the warning track. Harang economical. That inning took just 10 pitches for 3 outs. And We're still scoreless in the second. Practice, and so were some of the Philadelphia Eagles, including their quarterback Mark Sanchez. Took a few hacks.
Examining the wood too, wanting to know all about the grain and what's good and what's not.
A lot of fans here in Philly hope that Marcus Mariota will be able to come and take some batting practice after the draft. As Alex Wood goes to work, Cody Ashe is the hitter and pops up the first pitch towards short. Everton Simmons has that one. One pitch and one out.
Now, Ashe and Herrera have been two of the bright spots offensively for the Phillies as they continue to struggle to score runs. But those two guys are carrying a lot of the weight.
Here's Carlos Ruiz. Yesterday was a bad day for the Phillies. They got clobbered by the Marlins. And it was the first game that the Phillies had played in which no members of their 2008 team that won the World Series were in the starting lineup. You got Utley, you got Howard, you got Ruiz back in there today. Jimmy Rollins, of course, is a Dodger. But that, I think, is an interesting point to talk about, the directions that the Braves and Phillies are taking. To use the analogy of how the Braves unloaded some of their big name players in this offseason, they are full steam ahead in a retool, rebuild, revamp, whatever you want to call it. The Phillies still have veteran players, big names, big contracts, and not a lot of production right now. And frankly, Joe, a lot of those contracts are untradeable because of 10-5 rules.
Yeah.
And the size of those contracts.
I like the description you used earlier today. You said the Braves.
To second, Callaspo, big hop.
So the Braves just ripped off the Band-Aid. You know it's going to hurt, but just ripped it off and then start healing and getting better. Well, the Phillies haven't ripped that Band-Aid off because they can't. And part of their issues right now are the heavy weight of these contracts. Coors Light cold hard facts. Boy, this is cold and hard, folks. Philadelphia Phillies offense, last in average, 25th out of 30 teams in homers. Can you believe that? Last in RBIs and down near the bottom in hits, and dead last in runs scored. Who'd have thunk it?
You've got Cliff Lee injured. You've got Jonathan Papelbon, who is still a Philly and some think will be difficult to trade. You've got Howard, you've got Utley, you've got Cole Hamels. And you have a $146 million payroll for a team that might not win 50 games.
Well, one of the things that happened to the Phillies with the guys that they gave big money to, they just got old and they got hurt. I mean, Chase Utley, still a threat, but he's had horrible knee problems that have caused him to miss one full season just about. Ryan Howard's torn Achilles slowed him down immensely.
Little dribbler by Galvis. Tough play for AJ, and he got to the baseball but couldn't unload. Infield hit for Galvis, and that'll clear Aaron Harang. 2 outs, runner at first.
Alex Wood deked AJ. Alex Wood made it look like he was going to get it right here. He came off hard, and then when he slowed down, it was like AJ realized, okay, I'm going to have to make the play.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, injuries and age, it's almost like it happened overnight. As Harang rolls 1 foul for a strike, it's 0-1.
Well, and on top of those 2 guys, the other guy that was part of their 2008 World Championship, was it 08? Was Carlos Ruiz. He's been catching every day. Games have taken a toll on his legs.
Harang rolls out to second, and that sends our game to the 3rd. 0-0, game 1 in Philly. Games become an A-list member today and get exclusive benefits customized to meet your unique needs. You'll also get a chance to secure your seats this year for SunTrust Park. Go to Braves.com/A-list or call 404-577-9100. Join the A-list today. We're all excited about SunTrust Park. Look at what this magnificent facility did for the Phillies franchise, moving away from Veterans Stadium to Citizens Bank Park. In its heyday, this place was toughest ticket in town.
Sold out for about 6 or 7 straight years.
Aaron Harang to work. Andrelton Simmons jumps the first pitch, and it's popped foul and out of play. Love what he's doing at the plate.
Yeah, I think everybody does. I know Kevin Seitzer's pleased with how he's using the right half of the field, adjusting his approach when he gets behind in the count, shortening up.
And despite batting 7th and 8th most of the year, you're looking at the Braves team leader in runs batted in right now with 10. And he's ahead in the count here, 2 balls and a strike. 2-2. Foul at third.
One of the things that makes Aaron Harang so deceptive is his arm action. He's tall and throws downhill, but his arm action is always the same, whether it's his fastball, whether it's a changeup or a sinker. Everything looks the same coming out of his hand.
Line drive toward left. Revere is there. And it's 7 straight retired by Harang tonight. And Cameron Maybin, the batter. Maybin can go get him with anybody in center field. This is a big center field despite being a small ballpark. Cameron also has had good luck hitting here, a lifetime .344 hitter at Citizens Bank. And batting 8th in front of Alex Wood tonight.
I was talking to a scout about Maybin tonight before the ball game, and we were both talking about what a good defender he is and how he can go get the ball. But this scout's opinion, Cameron was rushed offensively to the big leagues because he could play center field and handle himself there, that he wasn't quite ready to get to the big leagues when he did, when he was traded from Detroit to then Florida Marlins, and that it was kind of a, trying to make it no matter what, and made some bad habits, had some bad habits creep in that have been tough for him to shake.
In the air toward right, Francoeur will retreat a step or two, and he's got that. You can understand why the Marlins want to make sure Maybin's stuck with the big league club when you trade a future Hall of Famer, Miguel Cabrera. But he's out number 2, and here's Alex. A strike from Harang.
It's a hard place to try to make yourself a good hitter night after night at this level.
Wood 0 for 2 at the plate. And that's the count. 0-2. He's held it there for a moment. But he's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
What's new? It's April and 8 up and 8 down for Harang.
Make it 9 up, 9 down. Second strikeout. Harang's perfect through 3. Top of the Phillies order coming up. No score.
Right stuff, low price every day.
Pretty night in Philadelphia. Chilly weather, 55 degrees at first pitch. A lot of Braves fans have made their way to the bank vault tonight. Going to see Atlanta snap out of it offensively against Aaron Harang. So far, though, the big right-handers retired the first 9 in order. And now Alex Wood faces the Phillies leadoff man, Ben Revere, for a second time. Showed bunt, took a strike. That's fouled at the plate. Last year, Ben Revere had 184 hits. 162 of them were singles. At 306.
He had a good year for them leading off and at least trying to provide a spark for their ball club. How many stolen bases?
49. Was caught 8 times. Most hits or most singles by a Philly since Dave Cash in 1976. And this is also, Joe, what made him so tough. Real tough man to strike out. Only 49 times and 601 at bats. Once every 12 at bats or so. Downstairs. He hit his first big league home run last May 27th. It is 1,466th big league at bat. He has a total of 2 in his career.
Yeah, he got hot after that.
Right.
Once he figured out how to do it.
Yep. The second one came against Rafael Soriano on September 5th. Herrera waits on deck. Alex Wood readies for a 2-2 pitch. It's bounced toward first. Freeman in between. Hop has it pop out of the glove, and that's going to cost him. Revere flies down the first base line, and he'll reach.
Man.
Second error of the night for the Braves, and those are starting to pile up on the road trip.
A little bit of an in-between hop, but one that Freddie usually handles. Alex was there if he wanted to just pick it up and toss it. He went with the glove instead.
So 2 errors in the first 2+ innings for the Braves.
Best fielding percentage in baseball, not playing like it on this road trip. At least not the last 2 series.
5 errors in 5 games now for Atlanta. And here's Odubel Herrera again. He singled sharply up the middle against Alex for the first Philadelphia hit. These are all intelligence gathering at bats for the Braves pitchers. They've not seen this man before. They've seen video, of course, but perhaps not live. 1-0 count. Wood almost threw another one away.
As a base runner, and particularly a good base stealer like Revere, they like seeing that. When a guy almost throws a ball away, throws one away, and keeps having trouble, you can get huge jumps. You just figure they're not going to throw over anymore.
Taken low, ball 2.
Herrera's got a very unusual front foot in his stance. I mean, you can almost see the bottom of his shoe if you're standing on the mound. There are a lot of open stances, but look how he lays his foot down.
Fooled badly with that pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
Of leg movement, lower half movement, to go from where his right foot is to a high leg kick that's up and almost over his back foot.
Runner goes, big jump. Pierzynski's throw to second, no chance. But he came off the bag. Revere overslid the bag, and he's saying he was pushed off the bag.
I don't think he was. But you got to keep your foot on there.
Ryan Sandberg might want an explanation. He beat the throw, but came off the bag.
But Andrelton didn't give up on this. He knew he was going to be safe. But watch Andrelton, just in case he does slide off the bag, he pulled his foot off. There it is.
He pushed me off is exactly what Ben Revere said.
Been there, done that, and gotten exactly the same sympathy from an umpire when I was playing. The same thing happened to me.
Who got you?
I don't remember, but real aggravating because you had stolen the base, as Revere did here, and your foot's on the base. Shades of Kent Herbeck and Ron Gant.
So Revere is the first out, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, says Brian Gorman. So it's a 2-2 count, 1 out, and slapped to short. Gotta hurry. This kid can fly, but he can't beat Simmons' arm. 2 out. He's smiling. He's stolen out at second base. And here's Utley. Utley walked in the Phillies first. Hard to believe Chase Utley is 36 years old. First round pick by the Phillies in 2000. Got to the big leagues in 2003. In fact, this is a big anniversary for Chase Utley today. This is the anniversary of his first major league hit, and I'll say he broke in with a bang. Huh?
Yes, he did. A grand slam bang over at the old vet.
A 6-time All-Star starter. 4-time National League Silver Slugger as the second baseman. World champion. Even though he's a Philly, one of my favorite guys to watch swing the bat.
Me too. Always has been. You never read his name in the paper, griping, complaining, arrested, whatever. This guy's a solid citizen and has overcome some really bad knee problems a couple of years ago to still be playing, albeit not to his standards.
Popped up. Simmons goes out, and he's going to be called off by Eric Young. Alex Wood works around a Freddie Freeman error, and this game heads to a scoreless fourth.
Just try to catch you off balance and maybe get that pop-up or rollover or, whatever it may be. But he's not going to try to trick you, and he's going to be in the zone. So you just kind of got to be patient, and when you see the pitch that you're looking for, make sure you put a good swing on it.
Well, Eric Young should know about facing Aaron Harang. He came into this game 6 for 12 against Harang in his career, along with 4 walks. Hey, guys, he got ahead 3-0 his first time around. Sure like to see him turn that into a hit this time. Ground out to the pitcher. First time at bat.
Yeah, he tapped right back to Aaron Harang. We can't have that. Let's see if PHI can start the fourth in good fashion for the Braves. Tapper, Ryan Howard will get there in foul ground. Steve, right one. Braves are 6-2 this year when they score the first run in the ball game. Have yet to have anyone reach base.
Need a base runner first.
Young, Callaspo, and Markakis. And there's bunt try. Ashe, bare hand, fires to first in time. Good play. And there's out number one. Harang is retired. The first 10 he's faced. And here's Aaron Harang's arsenal.
Not too many curveballs. A few sliders, but it's mostly, again, fastball, cutter, changeup. There's more changeups than perhaps that gives him credit for. He's already thrown several tonight. That's about the third bunt attempt on this road trip by either Maben or Young, but they didn't get it near the line. We talked again about make it foul or make it a base hit. But anytime the third baseman, even if he's playing in, can make a move to the ball where he's actually going toward the mound and has some momentum then built up to make a throw to first, he's got an odds-on advantage to throw you out.
2 balls and a strike for Callaspo. And that's taken high. Anytime you see a third baseman make a barehanded play like that, you think about Chipper Jones.
Nobody did it better. And I'm talking about the ones that are right down the line.
There's the first base runner. Harang walked Callaspo. The reason I bring Chipper up, it's his birthday today. Chipper's 43 years old.
That's all.
Happy birthday to you.
We saw him the other day in the booth. I would have guessed a lot older. But happy birthday, Chipper.
Nick Markakis, the batter. Nick lined out to center. Long running catch by Herrera out there. Centering up just about everything at the plate. Hard to believe this man had just 25 spring training at bats as he recovered from the injury that dare not speak its name. That's high and tight. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Aaron didn't like that call. Because he works a lot of pitches to the outer third of the plate to a lefty, he's got to have that pitch called for him to keep the left-handers honest.
That one found the mark. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got our PNC Bank pitch tracks here. His argument on the one before got him that call.
That's out of play. And 1-2. Weather's supposed to improve, warm up the next couple of days. Sunday's supposed to be really nice. The fans here are very excited because we understand it'll be Philly Fanatic Sock Day. That's the promotion. It's outside. Harang wanted that one. 2-2. To the left from Markakis.
Another changeup.
This one yanked foul to the right side.
That pitch looked like he was about to hit him. Breaking ball, maybe. No, it was a cutter. Cutter coming in on him, and he still got around on it.
Low. All right. Do you put Callaspo in play here?
I do indeed. Got one of your hottest hitters up there. The guy who doesn't fan that much. Callaspo doesn't run that well. He's not blessed with a lot of foot speed, but I trust Nick to put it in play.
Pitch number 10 of the at bat. Full count. Runner goes. Pitch bouncing ball up the middle, right to the shortstop. Step on the bag. Throw to first. Double play.
Would have been a base hit otherwise.
The Phillies guessed right on the cover man, and Markakis and the Braves doubled up in the fourth. Still scoreless. The 2005 season and the baby Braves and Jeff Francoeur's debut against the Cubs against Glendon Rush. And look who greets Jeff Francoeur at home plate. Brian McCann and Ryan Langerhans. And a curtain call for Jeff Francoeur.
Boy, was that an exciting night.
And here he is in Philadelphia, trying to keep his career going. A couple of years ago with the Royals, Jeff had a super season. 20 homers, knocked in 87, hit 285. Last year, most of the year with the El Paso Chihuahuas, the Padres AAA team, where he was teammates with Jace Peterson.
Right.
He hit 15 homers down there and hit 289.
I immediately got in touch with Jeff after the trade to find out, to get a scouting report on Jace Peterson and others coming out of that organization, and he gave him rave reviews.
Up the middle, Callaspo behind the bag, flipped to first in time, and Francoeur is 0 for 2. He's the first out of the fourth inning. Here's Howard. Ruben Amaro had some very interesting comments about Ryan Howard this offseason. He was asked on a radio show about Howard's status, and Ruben was very frank. He said, look, we would probably be better off as an organization if Ryan Howard was playing somewhere else. That was not to denigrate what Ryan Howard is, what he has meant to the organization, but again, from a financial standpoint and a baseball standpoint, Phillies would love to be able to move his contract.
It's pretty heavy.
One ball, no strikes. Ripped down the right field line. That's just foul. That's twice. He's pulled one to the right side out of play. Even count.
As with the case with Ryan Howard for a lot of ball clubs, if you want to move a guy, you really want him to do well, put up some good numbers, make him more attractive to other teams, and at the very least, he's helping your team too. Ryan Sandberg's taking some heat here. Some of his managerial moves and non-moves. A lot of questioning going on.
One ball, one strike. That's a little low. There's Ruben Amaro, the Phillies general manager, the architect of the 08 championship.
And a Hall of Famer below him eating dinner, Mike Schmidt.
First, that's got to be a tough call for a GM. Obviously, you don't know when Father Time is going to catch up to your veteran players, and you win a championship. You want to take another crack at it. I wonder if feelings in Philly would be different had they won more than that 2008 World Championship. To first, that's off the heel of Freeman's glove, but Howard doesn't run well, and Freddie recovers for the second out. The Achilles injury for Ryan Howard was devastating for him.
Yeah, whatever foot speed he had, he lost to that, but also lost a lot of range defensively too.
So 2 outs for Alex in the 4th inning. Cody Ashe is the hitter. He popped out his first time up. Ashe a bright spot, as Joe said, for the Phillies, but Braves pitching staff's always treated him poorly. He's just a 128 lifetime hitter against Atlanta.
Yeah, last year 6 for 45.
Meanwhile, for Alex, mid-60s on his pitch count. He's in the 4th inning, just with the doctor order. Keep on rolling along. Hope the offense comes to life against Aaron Harang, who has not allowed a hit yet to the Braves. Taken low. 2-2. That's into the seats again.
It's like that Mets winning streak might be in jeopardy tonight, playing at Yankee Stadium.
Yikes. Yankees 6, Mets nothing in the 4th inning. That's Jacob deGrom pitching for New York tonight. Mets, that is. Yankees playing very well right now. They took 3 out of 4 against the Tigers on the road. And a fly ball center right at Cameron Maybin. That should be a can of corn for Cameron. It is. We head to the 5th inning. Freddie Freeman will try to pick up the Braves' first hit. No score. Time for our AT&T Ubers trivia question. Since the Braves moved to Atlanta in 1966, Ryan Howard's one of two players with at least 47 homers and 134 RBIs against the Braves. Who's the other Braves killer?
Mike Redmond.
only if Tom Glavine was pitching. I think he might be a little shy of all the numbers that Ryan Howard's put up against the Braves. As that's outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's a tough one.
You just saw Mike Schmidt. I wonder if he would be. The Braves played in the West and he was in the East. They didn't see each other as much.
Yeah, that's what always throws me off.
2 balls and a strike. And Freddie didn't get it. 2-2. Just missed. Harangues run it full. Braves have 1 base runner. That was an Alberto Callaspo walk an inning ago. He was wiped out on a double play off the bat of Nick Markakis. And popped up. Foul ground. Bo Porter backpedals. Ruiz gives chase and he has no play.
He's the only one that had a shot at it because of the shift. And a smart pitch there by Harangue, who may have thought that after the strikeout the first time around, maybe Freddie's looking to go inside out, maybe take advantage of the shift and go the other way, and instead they jammed him.
Line to left. Revere retreats and makes the play shy of the track.
Well, they've hit some bolts out there to left and center.
1 up, 1 down.
Freddie yelling at Carlos, he won't turn around.
A.J. Pierzynski 0 for 1. We'll hear no complaints of bench me or trade me from A.J. Pierzynski.
Yeah.
He loves to play. Sharply hit and past Howard into the right field corner. Takes that funny ricochet. He's going to try to challenge Francoeur's arm, and Jeff drops the ball, and A.J. in safely at second base. Francoeur had him dead to rights. If he picked it up cleanly, he couldn't. And Pierzynski has the first Braves hit of the night.
Good hustle on A.J.'s part, trying to get something going, get into scoring position, even at the risk of getting thrown out here with 1 out. Jeff was ready to throw to second base and gun him out, but he looked up and didn't have the ball in his hand, and then was mad at himself for that.
So Pierzynski does it again, an 8-game hitting streak for him. And Chris Johnson will try to drive him home. For the second time tonight, Harangue's been in the stretch. Let's see if the Braves can take advantage of it. AJ's had a busy road trip. And a line drive into right field. There's a hit. Pierzynski held up to make sure it wasn't caught on the line. And Chris Johnson singles. Back-to-back hits for the Braves, and they're in business. First and third with 1 out.
Good job by Chris going the other way. You try to pull Aaron Harangue, you're playing right into his hand because you're going to roll over the top of a lot of pitches. But Aaron left that one up between the belt and the knees, and an opportunity for Chris to hit it hard, and he did.
Second time through the order for the Braves. A whole lot more successful. Let's see if Simmons can drive home the game's first run. He lined out to left. That led off the 3rd inning. Ground ball to Utley. Second base, 1, double clutch, throw to first is in time, a double play. Hamilton tried to hit it the other way, but he hit it right to Chase Utley, and Galvis turned an inning-ending double play. Home fifth, still no score.
Part to try to get things rolling for the Braves. Krasinski now with an 8-game hitting streak. He's hit in every game that he's appeared in this season, and that brings us to our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. How about the hitting streak to begin your Braves career? You see AJ there. Not a bad list. Tied for 4th on the list with that 8-game hitting streak. I talked to him before the game tonight, guys, and he said, look, I'm just trying to put the barrel on the ball, use my hands, not try to do too much or force it. So far, he's doing a pretty good job of it.
You bet, Jen. AJ Przinsky's for real.
Indeed he is.
As we go to the 5th. For the Phillies, Ruiz, Galvis, and Aaron Harang are coming up. Same story for Alex Wood. Pitching a good ball game, no run support. Braves have 2 hits. Phillies have 2 hits. Out of 2 errors, but it's caused no problems. And a strike to Carlos Ruiz.
No, I just like the way he's working to the plate. I'm not crazy about his throws to the bases tonight, but his work to the plate's been good, and he's working fast, keeping the ball down, which you have to do in this ballpark. We got a 4-run lead in Toronto and got a no decision. Tonight he's having to match pitches with Aaron Harang. 13 out of 16 first pitch strikes. It's a good sign.
Line to right field by Carlos Ruiz. A 1-2 pitch. Earns him his first hit of the night, 3rd of the game for the Phillies. That'll bring up the shortstop Freddie Galvis. And an infield hit back in the 2nd inning. Seems odd to talk about the Phillies on an everyday basis and not see Jimmy Rollins playing shortstop for them. Rollins is now a Dodger. Galvis has the job. In fact, he's the first man not named Jimmy Rollins to start at shortstop on opening day for the Phillies since Desi Relaford.
How about that? Well, any championship ball club starts with pitching. Good starting pitching. And it just was a couple of years ago that the Phillies had an awesome top 3 of Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, and Cole Hamels. There wasn't a better top 3 anywhere.
Galvis broke his bat. He'll get a new club.
Halladay, you know, when Roy started suffering some injuries, and some of his were not just arm related, but he went downhill in a hurry. He just couldn't pitch through them. And then Cliff Lee hurts his elbow. He's been out for the last almost 2 years. Well, not 2 full years, but 2/3 of last season, maybe 3/4, and all of this season so far. So it really stripped them of that strength they had in their rotation that they thought would be together for another 4 or 5 years.
And when Halladay went down, as you mentioned, having Cliff Lee in rotation, if he could prove he was healthy, he'd be a tremendously valuable trade commodity. July 31st. That's out the window.
Yeah, that's big money. That's a big weight too. You talk about Utley or Howard specifically. They traded Rollins, but that Cliff Lee contract's a big one too.
Line down the play foul, and when people ask, well, where are the Phillies prospects? I can answer that. Some of them are in Toronto, some of them are with the Mets, and a lot of them are with the Astros. The reason for that is the Phillies traded big-time prospects to get Roy Halladay. They traded big-time prospects to get Hunter Pence because they were trying to win another championship. Roy Oswalt, they had to acquire him too. So on one hand, you have to pat Ruben Amaro and the Phillies front office on the back. They did everything they could year after year after year to acquire top-grade talent at the trade deadline to make that final push to win now. But they're paying the price for that. And the players they still have under contract. Little pop, it is shallow right. Long run from Markakis near the line, and Nick will get there. And he's got it for the first out of the inning. Aaron Harang bats. He's 0 for 7 this year. I guess the biggest surprise is, well, maybe it's not a surprise. They have to have somebody pitch, but for me the biggest surprise is that they haven't traded Cole Hamels yet.
I wonder if they were just waiting to see how the season started.
I think that's been answered, right?
I don't think this is any big surprise to a lot of people. No.
Harang lays down a bunt, and it's a good one. Only one play, and it's to first on the sacrifice. It's a 5-4 put out. Ruiz to second. Harang having a nice night. And there's the second out. We go back to the top. Let me ask you this.
As we saw last year, Aaron's a good bunter.
Everybody in the world knows the Phillies probably going to have a bad year. It doesn't seem like Ruben Amaro is exactly dealing from a position of strength with regards to Cole Hamels. He's got the player, but he's also got the contract, and everybody in baseball knows that they might want to try to trade him. So is he getting appropriate value offered back in return?
Yeah, but I would argue that they've already made it pretty clear that, hey, we've got him and we've got him signed, so we're not upset that he's pitching for us instead of you. So if you want him,
here's our price.
Yeah. Here's who we want, depending on what club he's talking to.
And Revere bats. He's hitless tonight. He has struck out and reached on an error.
And that club, in many conversations, has been the Boston Red Sox. People speculating that it was the Red Sox who were most interested in Cole Hamels. And in some instances, it's not so much how wait and see how the Phillies start, but wait and see how the Red Sox start and see if they need him.
Right now, they're in first place.
Yeah, there's not a dire need.
One ball, one strike. Ruiz at second with 2 men out, scoreless 5th inning. And pulled foul. 1-2. Miami's tied up the Nationals in Marlins Park tonight. That's 1-1 in the 5th. Cubs 2, Reds 2 in the 4th. Cardinals in Milwaukee just starting at Miller Park. Rest of the action out west.
Marlins got healthy here. They were sweeping, scoring a bunch of runs. Scored 9 yesterday. Stanton hit 2 homers here over the week. 3-game series. He hit one yesterday in the left field stands, deep in the stands. They had a clock on it. It took less than, I think it was 3 seconds to get out of here.
Would have really hurt somebody if they'd not been ready. So he's coming to life for the Marlins. They need all the help they can get offensively. Christian Yelich disabled today. Bad back. That hurts Miami. The pitch is low. Full count. It's Jordan Zimmerman and Matt Latos working down in Miami. Latos winless. Zimmerman threw a no-hitter against the Marlins on the final day of the year last year. Ground ball first. Freeman's got this one cleanly. He will take it to the bag in time. And that will retire the side. No runs to hit, a man left. 6th inning scoreless in Philly. This titanic struggle in Philadelphia moves to inning number 6. Aaron Harang and Alex Wood pitching well in game 1. Just 5 hits on a chilly night.
Big double play got turned behind Aaron Harang last inning, though. The bat of Andrelton Simmons, who's been the Braves' best RBI man.
So he starts fresh with the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. For the Braves, Cameron Maybin, Alex Wood, then Eric Young Jr. And a foul ball. Strike 1. Well, you see the big story out of Los Angeles tonight. Many in baseball know of and sympathize with the troubles of Josh Hamilton. Word is the Angels are reportedly close to a trade that would send Josh Hamilton back to the Texas Rangers. Pop fly foul out of play. Josh had some of his best years with that Texas ball club. Maybe that'll get him and his life back on track.
Change of scenery would definitely help, one would think.
A little low. Texas needs some help. They're 6-9 on the year. Angels not much better. They're 7-9. And Maybin didn't get something off speed. He swung over the top, and Harang has another strikeout. That's his 3rd of the game. Alex Wood was his 2nd strikeout victim. He bats next. Got another question for you. What's wrong with Giordano Ventura, Kansas City pitcher?
I'm sure that a lot of people would like to know the answer to that. You can't pitch a game without starting a fight.
There's a ball between the Royals and White Sox last night. Lester Olney of ESPN had a great story on the ins and outs of that fracas last evening. That's bad blood's gone back over a year. 26 hit batsmen combined between the Royals and White Sox dating back to the start of last year. Ventura kicked out of his second start. Ian Adam Eaton got into it. Back strikeouts for Harang. 2 outs in the 6th. He's a machine tonight.
We have seen Aaron at his best. We've seen him pitch like this on several occasions. And when he's not at his best is when that plane of his pitch that's from his 6'7" height normally downhill is not, and it's flat and it's up and the ball doesn't move, and that's when he has short nights. Tonight it's down.
Fly ball center field. Herrera is back. Harang can pitch to the biggest part of the ballpark on a windy night. And he gets the Braves in order. 1, 2, 3. Heart of the order for Phils. Still no score. Starting at as few as 15 games, become an A-list member today and get exclusive benefits customized to meet your unique needs. You'll also get a chance to secure your seats in 2015 for SunTrust Park. Go to Braves.com/A-list or call 404-577-9100 to join the list today.
The team appreciates all the Braves fans here tonight, sporting their colors.
Odubel Herrera lays down a bunt that will bounce foul. Not a bad idea. That's your point about make it fair or foul.
Make it foul or a base hit.
Down that line. Strike one to the Phillies center fielder. Brings an injection of youth to a club that is listed as the 8th oldest in baseball. Strike one. Base is empty and a bouncing ball to first. Freeman got a big hop, easy play. Here's out number one.
Freddie's been busy.
Utley, then Francoeur with one man out. This has been a sore spot for the Phillies offense. Again, a club that's been outscored by 33 runs this year and has the lowest batting average in baseball at .213 as a team. One.
Hard to believe a guy with that Sweet a swing and uses his hands so well, like Chase Utley does. He's hitting 118. Doesn't seem possible.
He's in the driver's seat now. 3-1 the count. And he draws a walk. Second time Alex has walked Chase Utley tonight. That brings up Jeff Francoeur, who's put it in play twice and is 0 for 2.
A lot of respect for a guy that's had some luck against Alex. 4 for 12 coming in and threw him a 3-1 breaking ball.
Back where it came from, and it'll topspin bounce into center field. Utley slams on the brakes as Maben got to it quickly. Jeff Francoeur has his first hit of the ball game, and the Phillies threaten here in the 6th. First and second, 1 out.
Well, I thought that got a piece of Alex Wood on the way by to slow it down, but not so. Right back at Alex. Somehow missed him. And a little topspin on it when it hit the dirt.
Howard's flirted with glory twice tonight. First inning, he almost hit a 3-run homer. He pulled it foul at the right field foul pole. He missed a double back in the 4th inning. He ended up grounding out twice to Freddie Freeman. So Howard's 0 for 2. That's low. 1 ball, no strikes. Howard 1 for 9 against lefties this year. That one at the knees, a strike.
Always with great power to right and left field. Especially if he's looking that way on the lefty, looking for a breaking ball to golf it the other way.
Another pickoff play. This one on target. And no chance for Simmons to push Utley off the bag. He did that with success to Ben Revere in the 3rd. Taken low. 2 balls and a strike.
Grounded out to Freddie twice. Be happy with that right here because of the opportunity to turn a double play. Slow to first.
Wood can't throw a strike. It's 3-1. It talks about the rough start, the rough season that Ryan Howard had. Despite hitting .223 last year, he still drove in 95 runs. Chance to drive home Utley here with a hit. Howard has 4 RBIs this year. Francoeur's at first. 1 out, 6th inning, no score. Pitch. popped him up. Simmons out. Young in. And Eli's got it. Howard pops out for the second out of the inning. On a 3-1 pitch, Howard a soft second out.
You would expect him to be looking middle of the plate in. His strength, especially down and in. Like he got something down and out over the plate.
And now Roger McDowell out for a chat. You've got Ashe, then Ruiz with 2 outs. And Wood approaching 100 pitches.
Well, that was not down. That was down the middle. And no wonder Howard was frustrated.
Cody Martin's up in the bullpen. Wood needs an out to get this game to the 7th inning. No Brave starter has pitched 7 full innings yet this season. Wood's gone the deepest at 6 2/3.
I misspoke a minute ago. I said the Marlins swept the series here against Philadelphia. They actually lost the first game and then outscored the Phillies 15-2 over the next 2 games.
Two on, 2 out for the Phillies third baseman Cody Ashe. Breaking strike.
Fastball just missed.
Good stop, Brzezinski. Woods at the century mark on the pitch count. Watch Ashe take his stance. If you just glance casually, you'd think he's a spitting image of Chase Utley. .252 last year for the Phils. Knocked in 46 runs. Slow roller right side. Freeman wanders off the bag. Wood got to the bag but missed the bag. All hands are safe, and the Phillies have loaded the bases.
That's a tough play all around for both Freeman to try to lead him to the back, get the ball to him as quick as he can, but not throw it behind him. And then for Alex, he can't take his eye off Freddie, so he kind of knows where the bag is. But at this point, he's guessing because he had to watch Freddie and the throw since it was coming from behind him.
So had Wood made that play, it would have ended the inning. Instead, it's the end of the line for Alex tonight. 5 2/3 innings of work. He held the Phillies to 5 hits, no runs, a couple of walks, and the game in the hands of the Braves bullpen here in the 6th. No score, bases loaded. Ruiz versus Martin when we come back.
AT&T UVerse, Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
Phillies have their best threat of the night. Bases loaded with 2 outs. And as I mentioned, the game now in the hands of the Braves bullpen. There are the season numbers for the relief corps.
Well, they've thrown 54 innings, which is a ton, and they've averaged a strikeout per inning pitched, but they've also walked 27. Opponent's batting average, excellent. But it's the walks that have been a problem, and no room to walk anybody here. That's usually not an issue for Cody Martin, who throws strikes.
Carlos Ruiz, the batter, he's got a hit tonight. And he takes the ball. Another positive stat for the Braves relief corps. They've inherited 31 runners this year. Only 3 of them have scored so far. Ruiz, one of the best fastball hitters in his prime. Let's see how Martin handles him behind the count. 1-0. He took a strike.
And a good high fastball hitter.
Runners in scoring position this year. The Phillies hitting an anemic 176. One ball, 1 strike. Good cut. And out of play. 1-2. A 1-out walk. A Francoeur single up the middle. An infield hit by Ashe with 2 outs has him loaded. Now Cody Martin trying to bail out Alex Wood.
And Alex can't sit still in the dugout because he came so close to getting out of the inning with that play at first.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Phillies tonight 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Big pitch upcoming right here. Don't want to have to make a good pitch 3-2.
High fly ball toward right. Markakis near the line. He's got room. He's got it. And Cody Martin puts out a 6th inning fire and keeps this game scoreless. Martin continues his terrific work. Nick Markakis 2 2nd in the 7th.
Clearly frustrated, fellas, as he came off the field, as you may have seen, and went into the clubhouse for just a moment, came right back out. Nobody really went around him much, and then he made sure he was one of the first ones to get up there and greet Cody Martin as Cody came off the field after he got that fly out to Markakis to end the inning.
Cody Martin's one of the best stories of the spring for the Braves. 34 inherited runners now for the Braves relief corps, and only 3 have scored. And Cody's good work keeps the game scoreless as we move to the 7th inning. Callaspo, Markakis, and Freddie Freeman versus Aaron Harang. Now fly ball center. Herrera is there and has it for the first out. Time for our T-Mobile game changer. Mentioned the great work Nick Markakis has turned in on the road trip. His good work extends beyond New York and Toronto for the Braves.
Last 10 games, not too shabby, huh? 450 plus average, almost a 550 on base percentage. On base a lot for the middle of the order.
Entered play tonight, 6th in hitting in the league, 373 average. He was struck out and lined out. I beg your pardon, he is lined out and hit with a double play tonight.
Yeah, that was on that 3-2 count where Callaspo was running and the ground ball up the middle pulled the shortstop right to the bag.
Two and two. Harang's spot is due second in the 7th for the Phillies. Well, activity has begun in their bullpen. He's just mowing them down. He got Markakis to pop this one up behind the plate. Ruiz near the screen, needs some backspin and got some. He made the grab for the second out.
Hustle by the third base umpire here on this too. I mean, it's a hard play to call for the home plate umpire if you can't tell if the ball hits the screen first. But the third base umpire, Trip Gibson, went over by the Braves dugout to get a good angle on that ball coming down and saw that he caught it cleanly.
That's Hal Harrison Gibson III. That's his given name. He's out of Mayfield, Kentucky. One of 3 umpires hired full-time this offseason. And now Freeman bats right off his knuckles foul. It's 0-2. Oh, and 2 outs, bases empty. Shift on for Freeman. Crowd announced tonight of 21,164. Two and two. Strike 3 inside corner. Freeman's punched out for the second time tonight. Aaron Harang with a perfect 7th. He's due second after the stretch. We're still looking for our first run tonight. Game 1, Braves and Phillies, a scoreless duel. Minutes ago in a scoreless game, and after Alex Wood missed the first base bag to keep the inning alive, Cody Martin came in and with the bases loaded, 2 outs, ended the inning.
Comes in throwing strikes. That's what I like about Cody Martin.
So he'll start the bottom of the 7th.
You know, when he was getting some starts in spring training and everybody was kind of taking note of who is this guy.
Galvis beats one into the ground and singles to start the inning. He can run, and now the Phillies have the luxury of allowing Harang to hit for himself, or at least bunt for himself. He's only thrown, Joe, 95 pitches so far tonight.
Well, back to Cody Martin. The thing that most people said about him was that there wasn't anything spectacular about him. I mean, no one pitch that stands out, but he's got 2 or 3 good pitches, and the thing is he can throw them all for strikes. And that's what he did all spring, and that's what he's doing now. But yeah, Aaron's a good bunter, so he should be able to get this down without any trouble.
Aaron already has a sacrifice tonight. Chris Johnson charging at third. Freeman from first. The ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. One of the strengths of the Phillies team has been their bullpen. Their relief ERAs under 3. And Jonathan Papelbon is still a terrific big league closer. Freeman will have only 1 play. It's to first. Chris Johnson and A.J. Pierzynski have to scramble back to third. Look at who's meeting him at the bag. That's Eric Young Jr. After that bunt attempt, third base was vacant for a second, and 3 Braves went scrambling to the hot corner just in case Galvis thought about moving up an extra 90 feet.
Aaron was even trying to give Galvis a heads up that maybe third was uncovered.
So leadoff hit and a sacrifice, 2/3 of an inning for Cody Martin. Luis Avilan was loosening. He'll have the top of the order. Revere and Herrera coming up next. Of the 7th inning, top of the order coming up with 1 out in a scoreless game. Time to remind you of our Toyota tweet of the week. The question is, what's been your favorite moment of the season so far? Tweet your response with the hashtag #BestBravesMoment, and your tweet could appear on Braves Live after the game. This would be a good moment for Luis Avilan to have some success in Philadelphia. Historically, this has been a rough spot for him.
Had a rough outing yesterday. Gave up the first runs of the year by him. 1/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs allowed, no walks or strikeouts.
Singles machine. Ben Revere, the hitter, and had a big cut. Didn't get it. Fouled it away. Strike one.
Outfield very shallow, and look where Eric Young is playing. Left field, he is so close to the line. I don't know if I've ever seen a left fielder play that close.
Strike one. And a fly ball center. Maben backs up. And now the wind's going to push it back toward the infield, and no chance for Galvis to advance. Revere is the second out. Here's Odubel Herrera. He singled against Alex Wood in the first. He's grounded out twice since. What a stop by Przinsky on a short hop. How in the world did he grab that?
I don't know. That was not a short hop by any means. That was about a 58-footer.
Good spot.
Yeah, this guy, his back foot, this is the first time I've seen him play. His back foot is on the inside and back corner of the left-handed batter's box. Wide open stance. So by the time he comes back for that big leg kick, he's almost, his hands and upper body are almost out over the plate.
Tie himself right up.
So very susceptible to anything hard in, as we've seen the last two pitches. He's kind of jamming himself. Now, he probably wants to pull the ball, but he can't get anything extended when you're pounding him on that inside corner.
Utley is on deck. The Braves want to worry about him in the eighth. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Galvis at second after leadoff hit and a sacrifice bunt. High hopper out to second. Astros got it, and Avilan sends this game to the 8th inning. Przinsky, Chris Johnson, Anderson Simmons coming up, still scoreless. Yellowwood bringing the lumber feature tonight. Hits have been tough to come by for both ball clubs. Braves only have 2 of them, but this one from A.J. Przinsky, an extra base hit. A 1-out double in the 5th, and he's ready to lead off inning number 8. Jen, he is red hot for the Braves at the plate right now.
Yeah, and I asked AJ before the game, how much is he enjoying getting to be in the lineup as much as he has lately. He said, yeah, everybody wants to be in there and play. But I know what my role is. I know what I signed up for when I came to this team. That's to help the younger guys, Christian especially. He said, Freddie told me right off the bat, you may play 3 or 4 in a row. You may not play that many. Right now, he's playing.
Because he's hitting, and he drives this ball to deep right, but Francoeur got to the warning track, and that thing died at the edge of the grass. And Przinsky is out number 1. Chris Johnson was the last Braves base runner to reach back in the 5th inning. Braves were held hitless through 4 1/3 by Harang. As I mentioned, they have just 2 tonight. And strike after strike from the Phillies right-hander. Look how economically he's worked.
Kept the ball down all night. He just hasn't made any mistakes.
Dating back to last year, including tonight's work, this is Aaron Harang's 8th consecutive quality start.
No real stressful innings except when he was able to get that double play turned in the 5th. Coming into this start, he had 7 straight quality starts with a 1.76 ERA over that stretch, and 3 earned runs or less every time.
Some eyebrows were raised when Harang signed with the Phillies. Again, this is a great hitter's park. Harang is a fly ball pitcher. You know how short the fences are here. But he's 6-1 lifetime at Citizens Bank Park. And he just struck out Chris Johnson looking. A big slow lollipop curveball. 2 outs.
That's 6 strikeouts. Struck out 6 in his last start in 6 innings. Chris thought it was high. Struck out Freddie Freeman on a breaking ball to end the 7th.
Edwardson's lined out and hit into a double play. And this one's popped up. Playable for Ruiz. He'll toss away the mask and in foul ground make the play. 10 up, 10 down for Aaron Harang. And now Utley, Francoeur, and Howard come up for the Phillies in the 8th. Still scoreless. Final days of April through Sunday, May the 3rd. Great family activities are taking place at Turner Field. Friday night fireworks sponsored by Georgia Lottery. Every Sunday's Alumni Sunday. Visit Braves.com/tickets and plan your family outing to the ballpark today. Well, our first look at the Phillies. Nothing. Bottom 8. Part of the order up for Philadelphia. A couple of lefties, Utley and Howard, with Jeff Francoeur sandwiched in between. Avilan missed with ball 1. Utley has walked twice tonight. He's hitting .118.
Hamilton really playing him up the middle. Callaspo pretty much halfway between first and second, and Freddie guarding the line. Even with a left-handed pitcher, they expect him to pull.
Three balls and a strike. Luis has rallied for a full count now.
Make a good pitch with your fastball. Don't run the risk of walking him. Those leadoff walks lately for the Braves on this road trip have not fared well in terms of outcome for Atlanta. And Jay wants a fastball. Make a good pitch with it.
And Utley up the middle. Simmons had him played that way and couldn't get to it. Ball gets away from the middle infield, but Avilan backed it up when he does a slip and slide act in the grass at the shortstop spot. Let's make sure he's all right. Utley bangs a single up the middle and leads off the 8th. Simmons all right too.
Hamilton seemed to hit hard on his shoulder. Appears to be all right.
Phillies have had the leadoff man on in 4 of the last 6 innings. Now Francoeur bats. Jeff 1 for 3 tonight. A single last time up. Wild swing that ricochets off the shin guards of Przinsky. Utley's going to try to take second, and he's going to make it. A wild pitch.
It's not often you get a strike on a wild pitch. But that was the case because Francoeur swung at it. Change up right off of AJ's kneecap.
So the danger of that play is now a hit could give the Phillies the lead. See if Francoeur can at least move Utley to third base. He almost fell down. He swung so hard.
Straight change-ups. Had him way out in front and really reaching.
Howard waits next. And Cody Ashe. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Utley a big lead. Pitch is bounced to the left side. Chris Johnson knocked it down, but can't glove it cleanly. And Francoeur's aboard first and second now with nobody out.
It got him to reach for another off-speed pitch, but he got a piece of this one in the in-between hop again on Chris Johnson. This time he can't come up with it cleanly. Well, he reached for a ball that was probably off the plate outside and still pulled it. They ruled that an error?
They did.
That's a tough error.
Takes a hit away from Francoeur, and it's the third error of the night for the Braves. Now Ryan Howard bats. He's 0 for 3. 2 on, nobody out, home 8th. Swing drive, ripped to right. Right at Markakis, sinking line drive. He makes the grab. Utley's going to tag, and he's going to make third. Productive out for Howard.
Well, that was a real heads-up play by Chase Utley. On a line drive, a lot of times you just freeze as a base runner to make sure it's going to drop in. This one had so much topspin that he actually went back to the bag as he saw Markakis have to come in and make a diving catch to haul it in. And then knowing Nick had to get up and then throw, able to advance. That's a big move there by Utley.
Quite an inning for Chase. First the single, then the hustle to move up to second on the ball off the shin guard, and then to tag and move to third here. And now a bunt try is popped up to first by Cody Ashe. On the first pitch, he bunts it right to Freddie Freeman in the air for the second out.
Wow, what a break. What a huge break. Braves are going to double switch, but thanks to Cody Ashe, there's 2 outs in the inning. And that was just, look how he chopped at it. It looked like he was just trying to make sure he got it on the ground to get that guy in from third. And you see Utley, as soon as he saw him shorten up, he was coming in. And anything on the ground, Utley would have scored.
That's a head scratcher, but the Braves very happy to take the break. Phillies had 2 on, nobody out. Now they're at first and third with 2 outs, and we are still in a scoreless game.
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, the Home Depot, and the Georgia Lottery.
Changes for the Braves as the Phillies continue to hit in the 8th inning. Kelly Johnson's checked in for Chris Johnson at third base. He'll bat 9th. And Jim Johnson is on to pitch. He'll bat 6th. Carlos Ruiz is the hitter, and it's been a rough road trip for Jim Johnson.
Started in Toronto, 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 runs. The next night, 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 more runs. New York, 2/3 of an inning, 3 walks, 2 hits and a run.
Bouncing ball, fouled at third, strike 1. Ruiz has a hit in 3 tries.
Key for Jim Johnson will be to see if that sinker is down.
He's the key man at third base for the Phillies. 0-1 pitch. It was down and knocked down by Brzezinski. Buchanan, the Phillies third base coach, watches Utley take his lead. Now the 1-1 pitch.
That's a good sign. Not only the fact that was down and in and he was barely able to get a piece of it, but the pitch before that A.J. Brzezinski was barely able to glove. Well, they can try something else if they want ahead in the count.
One ball, two strikes. And Ruiz couldn't check his swing, and Johnson struck him out. The Phillies had 2 on, nobody out, and could not score. Ashie's bunt play, a real head scratcher. The Braves happy about it. We head to the 9th inning. 0-0. Alex Wood did a good job, and Aaron Harang up to his old tricks in April.
Yeah, Alex's pitch count got up there a little early on him because of a lot of base runners pitching out of some jams. Aaron Harang has cruised through his 8 innings, but he's out of the ball game tonight, and I don't think that anything Aaron Harang did tonight surprised any of us.
No, we've seen that act before. As you said, he's been their best starter so far in the first couple of weeks of the season. And now the Braves have to find a way to muster some offense against the Phillies bullpen. It's been a very pleasant surprise for them this year.
Hey, the Braves are great at manufacturing runs in the opening couple of series. Why not manufacture one right here and turn it over to Jason Grilli?
This young man they think will be their closer of the future, Ken Giles. He throws hard.
Yeah, I thought he would be already. I thought they'd have already traded Papelbon, and this guy would be their finisher.
So he's got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Braves. That's Maben. Remember Kelly Johnson on the double switch, 9th, and then Eric Young Jr. And that's off the plate from big Ken Giles.
Fastball slider. That's it. Fastball 95 to 98.
Phillies have an amazing stat on this kid in their press notes. Since August 5th of last year, the Phillies are 24-7 in the 31 games he's made an appearance. He's allowed 2 earned runs in those 31 innings.
That's pretty good.
.58 earned run average. And finished 4th in the National League Rookie of the Year balloting last season.
Well, I did see 4 walks on that chart we just showed a minute ago. A leadoff walk here to a fast runner would be terrific.
And that fast runner potentially is Cameron Maben, who's 0 for 2 tonight. that's exactly what happened. A 4-pitch pass, and Maben spun out of the way. Grateful he wasn't drilled with an upper 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's the first leadoff man for the Braves tonight to reach base.
First walk received. Braves only got 1 walk issued to them yesterday, and that was by Familia in the 9th.
You said this before. You know Kelly can hit anybody's fastball.
Yeah, it's a good matchup for him.
Maben has a good lead. That draws the throw to first. Hey, you get a run here, then you have Jason Grilli ready for the bottom part of the Phillies order in the bottom of the 9th.
Big lead for Maben. You know, it's a cold night when Terry Pendleton's coaching first with gloves on.
.55 degrees at first pitch, but a brisk wind all night long. And that's high. Giles has missed for 5 in a row. He's a Philly farmhand. They took him in the 7th round in 2011. Born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, lives in Phoenix.
And he's worrying a lot about the base runner, which might distract him even more from his command.
There's a strike.
Took a little off at 95.
Fastest pitcher in Phillies history to get 50 strikeouts. He did that in 35 innings last year. And the pitch is up and away. Kelly Johnson with a patient approach. 2-1.
Well, Kelly's a good fastball hitter, but he doesn't just try to hit every fastball. He likes the ball down like a lot of left-handed hitters. He likes the ball down and in. He's already hit 1 9th-inning home run in Toronto to tie a game. Maybe he can hit another 9th-inning homer here.
Runner goes, good jump, and Kelly fouled it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You might recall last year the Phillies had a combined no-hitter against the Braves on September 1st. That was an omen for the way the final month was going to go. And Giles pitched the 8th inning, struck out all 3 Braves he saw that day. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Maben again leads, holds this time, and a bouncer toward Utley at second. There's one, and there's the scoop at first, and in time a double play. Third double play turned by the Phillies defense. And the bases are empty for Eric Young. Bounced away at the plate. Ball 1. Joe's right. The Mets winning streak appears to be on life support. They're losing in the 8th inning to the Yankees tonight, 6-1. Nationals 2, Marlins 2. Bottom of the 8th inning in Miami. Play foul. Tigers are having trouble all of a sudden. Cleveland's thumping them 11-1 at Comerica Park. Cubs and Reds tied 3-3 also in the 8th inning. Scoreless in the 9th in Philly tonight. The pitch low. Toward first, Ryan Howard's got it, and Giles works around a leadoff walk in the 9th inning. 8-9-1 coming up for the Phillies. Scoreless after 8.5. The scenes tour of the Braves press box, broadcast booth, clubhouse, and dugout. Tours are offered all year long and begin at the Braves Museum and Hall of Fame. For more information, call 404-614-2311. As we head to the bottom of the 9th inning, let's revisit our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Since the Braves moved to Atlanta, Ryan Howard's one of 2 players with at least 47 homers and 134 RBIs against the Braves. Can you name the other player?
I would say Barry Bonds.
That's a great guess. I'll say Mike Schmidt. We showed him earlier. I think you have a better shot. Oh, it was Johnny Bench, Big Red Machine. The Braves and Reds were longtime National League Western Division rivals. Jim Johnson goes to work in the 9th inning. Galvis, then Cesar Hernandez, then the top of the order. Fly slicing out a play foul. It's 0-2. Alex Wood started for the Braves. 5 2/3 scoreless innings of 5-hit baseball. Cody Martin, Luis Avilan, and Jim Johnson have followed in relief. The Phillies got 8 scoreless innings from Aaron Harang. No walks, 6 strikeouts, and he allowed just 2 hits.
And all 3 of the guys for the Braves who have come in and gotten out of jams.
Right back where it came from on a 1-2 count. Fast man aboard for the Phillies, a leadoff single. And Hernandez will hit for Ken Giles.
Johnson was plagued in New York by that hit-and-run play after he had walked Granderson. He gave up that hit-and-run knock to the right side by Lagares. It barely got to the outfield grass. Now it's a broken batter off the end of the bat by Galvis.
The bunt is perfect. Freeman has one play. A 3-4 sacrifice. Winning run in scoring position. Top of the order now in Ben Revere.
3 successful sacrifices from the 9th spot in the order tonight.
Phillies have had chances tonight. They've had their leadoff man on in the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 8th, and now the 9th innings. Now you've got to worry about singles machine Ben Revere. Rays have handled him tonight, however. He's 0 for 4.
You know, the outfield's pretty shallow, but Nick Markakis in right field could be even closer. He's almost normal depth out there for this guy that is a singles hitter. The game's on the line. You know, if he hits it over your head, okay, he hit it over my head and won the ball game. But he's not that kind of guy. So I think I would even be closer if I were Nick to try to plug up that hole between 1st and 2nd.
See the rest of the Braves outfield alignment. Again, Young almost right on top of the left field line. Pitch. That popped out of the glove of Przinsky. Runners trying for 3rd. The throw. Short hops Kelly Johnson. And in safely is Galvis with the winning run.
AJ could get nothing on that throw. It didn't bounce that far away from him, but watch when he goes to get it, and this might be a pass ball. He is really flat-footed, trying to generate some arm strength here, and couldn't. And that probably will be a pass ball, and it is.
Now the infield has to come in for Atlanta. Winning run at 3rd, a 1-2 count for Ben Revere.
And now Markakis does join the other 2 outfielders and come in.
Another ball in the dirt. This time Przinsky, a miraculous save.
Goodness gracious, what a stop.
Wow.
That bounced up and hit him right on the swoosh.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Roller toward 1st. Freeman can't handle it, and the Phillies walk off and win 1-0. The Braves commit 4 errors tonight. The 2nd on Freddie Freeman, and it allows Freddie Galvis to score the only run of the night. And the Phillies have beaten the Braves 1-0.
I don't know that Freddie fielded one cleanly all night. I've never seen him have such a hard time fielding the ball cleanly.
The Braves dropped their 4th in a row, this time to the Phillies. 1 run was enough for Game 1 of this series.